Okay, guys, these are the first in a series of videos to help you revise for the end of your grade 9 test. Okay? The subjects that will be on the test are our old friend HTML from way back. I think we started that around about Christmas. Will also be some questions on networking, which we did at the beginning of the year. And of course, our old friend Excel will be on the test. Okay, so let's start by answering these questions on HTML. We'll go to networking, and the last one will be the Excel sheet. Okay, so you should be able to answer the following types of questions regarding HTML code. Okay, tags do the following in HTML. Which do they do? Tell a person they're it, create breaks in your web page, tell a web browser how to display the HTML code in website format, or open and close a website. It is this one here. Tell a web browser how to display the code in website format. HTML stands for what? High text markup language, hypertext markup language, hyper times makeup lounge, how to make licorice. It is B, hypertext markup language is the answer to 2. Are there any other web browsers other than Safari? Yes, there are plenty. There is Internet Explorer, there's Firefox, and of course there is Chrome, which our school will be using more and more of next year, and you'll see what that means next year. Okay, if I open an HTML file with a web browser, I can view it as a web page, but if I open it with my text edit in my HTML file, will what? Not be visible at all, will wreck the internet, will be filled with weird shapes and colors, will appear as HTML code that I can edit. So it will change the look of my website, that one. Let me show you an example of what I mean by that. Okay, so I'm just going to open up this sheet here. Year 9, this is your test here. Okay, so this is an HTML file that I created in class for your test. Okay, so if I open this, there's 2 ways I can open it up. If I open it up with text edit, okay, I have my HTML code and I can start coding websites there like that. Okay, or I can open it with a browser. So I'm going to open it up with Safari. And as you can see, it opens it up as a web page there. That should be an image there. And that should clarify that question. Okay, where is it? Okay, what is the difference between HTTPS and HTML? Okay, well, HTML is the code that tells a web browser to display some information as a web page. And I just showed you that. So we've got the same file here. It's written in HTML. Okay, it's an HTML file, but it's written in HTML code. And if I open it as a web browser, like I said before, my web browser knows to display HTML as a web page. Okay. HTTPS. Okay, let me show you an example of that. HTTPS. Okay, that tells me that is an address. It is a secure address for a website. And HTTPS is how websites communicate securely with one another. Okay, so 2 big differences between HTML and HTTPS. What do you need in order to actually publish the websites you're working on the internet? I need the following to publish my website. I need an FTP software. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, and that is the type of software that will allow me to upload my HTML code onto the internet. Okay, I need a domain name as well, like mycoolwebsite.com. Okay, and I also need a web server. I need to be able to host my website on a server of some sort. Okay, and as we discussed in class, there are companies that will provide you with all three of these. There's also ways that you could find these for relatively no expense, or in some cases free. But of course, if you do it for free, you might sacrifice some sort of security. Okay, anything that is outside of this tag, body will not appear in my website. That is true. Okay, let's go back to our code again. All right, here is my code. So let's open up this code because it's smaller. Open it up with text edit. Okay, so there we are there. There's the beginning of my body tag right there. Okay, right there. And that BG color simply states that the background of my website is going to be green. And that is the closing tag to the body of my website. So everything between the opening body tag and the closing body tag here, all this stuff will be seen on the website. Anything that is outside of here, for example, this title, HTML lesson 3, I won't see that because that is not within the body tag. Okay, and let's just open that up to show you how that works. And as you can see, yep, that's all I see. I don't see that title that I put in there. All of this, Year 9 school trip, and that text, hello, they are within the body tags of my file. Let's just see that again. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, that was the title that you just saw on that website, and that was the text within the website itself, hello. And those were the only two things that I'm going to see on my website because they are within my body tag, the beginning of my body tag. That's the closing of my body tag. Okay. Which tag is used by internet search engines to find out information about my website? Info, important, search, or head. It is the head tag, okay? That tag, that piece of code tells search engines vital information about my website so that it can try to direct traffic to my website. People I want or who might be interested in my website will find that information in the head tag. All files have to start with the following tag: start, begin, ready, or HTML. Well, they need to start with the HTML tag, okay? And let's just quickly look at my code again. Okay. Sorry, let's look at it with text editor. And if you can see here, yep, that HTML opening tag, that begins my website, and that closing tag ends my website. So HTML tells a web browser, hey, this is the start of HTML code, so look at it as a website, and this closes off the end of my code, the \HTML. Okay. The three essential tags that you need for a website are HTML head and body, HTML table and end, HTML paragraph and finish. These are the three: HTML, head, and body. As I just showed you, HTML begins and ends the code for my website. Head tells search engines vital information that I want people to find for my website. And body, of course, makes whatever's within the body tags makes my website visible to other users. On a Mac computer, I can just open text editor, start writing HTML code without making any changes to text editor, and our browser will show it true or false. Well, that is false. If you remember way back when we were doing that, okay, let me just open my text editor. Okay, we created websites in this box here, these text editors, okay? And don't forget, we had to go to preferences, and we had to change the preferences to these settings. We had to change it from rich text to plain text, and then we also had to change it. We wanted to open and save it. We wanted to display HTML files as HTML code, okay? So yeah, we have to actually change the preferences for the text editor in order to create proper code. Okay, when you write HTML code in text editor, what extension must your file be so that the web browsers can view your file? It must be in .html, okay? A lot of you guys had problems because you used to save your files as .text, and a web browser does not know how to view .text file as a web page. All right, if your web browser can't read your HTML file, what could you do? Yell at Mr. Heslin, always possible. Delete the file and start over again. Rename the file and add HTML at the end. Open the file in a Word document. Just do this. Rename the file and add HTML at the end. In order for the web browser to read your HTML code and add other files attached to your website, such as photos, everything must be stored A, on the desktop, in an external hard drive on the cloud, in the same folder on your computer. All of your files, when you create an HTML file, include whether it's photos, whether it's music, whether it's sound, and whether it's the actual code itself, all of those must be in the same folder on your computer. Otherwise, HTML and the web browser do not know where to find all the other information. Okay? Why is it important to practice proper file management, storing all files neatly in proper folders when coding, as opposed to leaving everything on the desktop or in your documents folder? It's important to do that, just as I said, so that your HTML code can view all necessary files, and prevent any unnecessary mistakes. Okay, so now we're going on to some important coding aspects. If I wanted to change the background color of my website, would I use the tag BG color, background color, background color? We would use this one, BG color. Okay, BG color is the tag that I use to change the background color of my website. And note that it is in the American spelling, C-O-L-O-R. Okay, all spellings for my HTML coding have to be the American, not the British spelling. All my HTML files must end with /HTML. That is true. Okay. The following tag in HTML, this is it here, would display what? Hello, 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 hello. It would display it as this, because the B stands for bold, the U stands for underline, the I stands for italicize. And don't forget, when I'm creating font tags, I have to close them in the same order that I created them. In other words, the B is first, so the B has to be first in closing, then the U in closing, then the I in closing. And I will get this text here on my web page. If I wanted to create rows and columns that could display information on the website, what tag would I use? I would use the table tag. The table tag would start creating a new table in my website. Okay. The BR tag creates a line break so that text can appear on a new line on my website, creates a new paragraph, creates an image of breakfast on my website. Does this, creates a line break that text can appear on a new line on my website. Okay. Next video, I'll do this stuff. I'll break down what are the mistakes in this code, and we'll go on from there.